Hey friends, I hope everyone is well. I am just doing an energy checking in, making sure we're all doing well, taking care of ourselves, breathing, big deep breaths in and out. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or just need a break. So lately I've been feeling, sad lately. And whatever reasons, other than the fact that I know it really still has to do with my breakup. And it hasn't even been 3 months. So giving myself some grace. People don't just bounce back and, oh, I'm so healed and ready to move on. That's not how it works. I don't think so. At least, I don't know. Prove me wrong, I guess. But anyway, so obviously I've been taking time to heal, but lately I've been feeling, there's a whole family of geese just walking by. A gaggle. Hey, what's up, guys? I've been feeling just really sad. I go in and out of the reasons why of sadness. I know it's because of the breakup. I know it's because of the person that I truly loved. And whether or not I was getting some facade, I thought I saw the human inside the mini masks that he wears, which I did. And I truly did and still believe that we had a soul contract. For sure, that needed to be done. And clearly that cycle has completed. It was essentially a 9-year-long cycle. And we're kind of coming into the end of it. Or we've already ended it. Now it's just processing things and learning new things. And obviously there's just this one is layered. Not even like, let's just put aside the really fact that he did me massively dirty. I'm just still grieving the relationship I thought I had, what I thought I was building, right? The future. That we were, in my opinion, constantly working together, constantly improving, constantly talking about things. Obviously not, I don't know. I'm still just shocked on how everything has transpired. And literally it is new information that comes to light every now and again. And you're just like, holy shit. Thank God that didn't all come out at once, because I would have killed myself. It's a lot of really hurtful stuff, but it's kind of what they wanted me to do anyway, isn't it? But anyway, the universe provides the information in the time that I feel like we're ready to receive it, right? And I keep getting like, hey, I need to know the full truth. And they're like, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Not quite yet. I don't think you're ready for all of it. So I'm bracing myself to feel some legitimate heartbreak and ache when I hear this full-on truth. But it may break your heart, but it definitely opens your eyes. So those are things which is why I'm such a truth seeker and want to learn, because I don't want to be blindsided. I don't want to walk in blind. I don't want to walk in eyes wide shut. I knew who I was dealing with. I knew the type of person he is and was. I didn't know how bad it could get or dark, but I knew I was dealing with a fuck boy, like a Casanova. His reputation far precedes him. Plus I had my own personal experience in dating him and other people. There was always another person involved. There always was, no matter what. There's always been, there's always was, whether it was past, present, future, whatever. It's like, but that's kind of what I've come to learn is the narcissistic way. So anyway, with all my new learnings, I'm wiser. I'm way more educated on the subject. I've been a student of human behavior my entire life. I have really good pattern recognition. I can connect dots pretty quickly. I just need certain people to say certain words or certain things, or I'll get a certain vibe, and it's all of a sudden, like the picture and everything will start to fall into place. I've always been really good at puzzles. And it's not even like I have to look for the information. It just always seems to come find me. Or I always seem to be in the right place in the right time, or it's a passing comment, or you're like, holy shit. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, back to the kind of sadness and grief that I'm feeling towards this man and this relationship we had. And not only have I learned what he did in the past towards me and had plans to do to me and things like that, failed plan, but I've also learned he's going through some hardship right now too, and it's just like my heart still fucking hurts. It still hurts for him, it still hurts for me, it still hurts for what I thought we had, but honestly, there's no fantasy world anymore. I do not live in a fantasy fairy tale world. I see the dark and the good. I see, the dark and the light, the bad and the good. I see life is long and there's a lot of trials and tribulations that come with the good things too, but it's only worth it if we're being true to ourselves and those around us. Otherwise, you're living in a constant state of fear or stress, or if you're like the dude that I dated, your head is constantly on a swivel. That was one of his behaviors that I knew that he was looking for something else. It was just like, you clock enough details, and that's what I'll also do, is I'll just start clocking details, and then in my brain they'll start to categorize them, and I'll have dates and times all attached to them. And I journal a lot, so I write everything down. But it's interesting. Anyway, still processing the grief. I get angry about the idea of just what he really thought about me, truthfully. And someone I cared about so much and did try and help and protect and support and help grow with and push towards a better future for themselves and better relationships with their family. I was an advocate for all of it, and their friends. Always an advocate for that shit. Trying to help them understand their friends better, or why someone might be upset with them at that moment. I was literally trying to help them. And I did. He was always like, his mind looked blown when I offered my sentiment, and he just like, whoa, that's a good idea. But it's funny because up until then, I remember I'd say things and it's like, it would just, no offense, but a lot of men do this. They'll ask you a question, you'll start to answer, and then they'll interrupt you immediately, or they'll just stop listening to you in the middle of your answer, or never even listen to the answer in the first place, or answer the question for you. Anyway, constantly that was happening. I'd like start to speak and he'd change the subject or bring up something over there, and I just stand there just like this. And I remember I was doing that over and over and over again. Towards the end, I was like, this isn't working for me. And this is before I learned about anything else. I just remember being like, I'm pouring into somebody's cup and I'm feeling drained and it's not getting better. It was a year and it just was never really getting better. And when it did, it felt like the rug was just slipped from under us, or me specifically. Anytime I started to feel like I was getting traction, I just felt like pulled down. Now, I also do believe that I was the target of some negative voodoo type shit as well, but that's another layer and part of the story. But this part of the story is that I just remember towards the end that it's like, I knew that things are cyclical and that not everything, we have bad years, but I don't usually have more than one bad year in a row. Things turn around or they start to go up, and it just never did. It just felt like just a cycle over and over and over again, and I was not for it anymore. So that's when I pulled away and just said no. But the cycle, this was also patterns like this. I had many reasons to believe that it wasn't going to change, nor had it changed, and that everything he was saying was just garbage, full of shit. But I didn't know, and I did believe that there were also third parties involved. I didn't know how many and what else was going on. So there's even more information that's coming to light now that's even more seriously. But I did feel sad, which reminds me, I'm still human. I'm still empathetic. I did feel sad for him. I was like, this guy's in trouble and he doesn't know how to, he feels trapped and he doesn't know how to save himself. So, and thank God I'm not a fucking savior or martyr anymore. No thanks. That doesn't pay. Yeah, I need something that pays. Anyway, so it does feel good to share my story with other people, just my feelings. I understand a lot of people can resonate with this, and that's just why I'm doing this. Plus it is cathartic as well once we become more open and vulnerable and just be who we are. We're not trying to hide anything. Yes, keep your cards close to your chest. Yes, don't give away everything, but if you want to relate to others, that's what my intention is here. Anyway. So, missing the guy, or what was the relationship, I feel sad because I still live in the house that we created. He stayed with me day one. He was there from day one. Everything was for us and our family. But it wasn't that nice to my kids. And I remember him yelling at my son for watering a plant. My son picked up a watering can and he went to go water these 2 new palm trees that had just been purchased from Home Depot, and the guy yelled at my kid, no, those have already been watered. And it's like, I just remember being like, first of all, he's 3, okay? He's not doing anything wrong. He's actually doing something nice and helpful. But he also wouldn't know that those had already been watered or know that you can overwater them. At like 3, what are you doing? And it's the moment in time I'm like, oh my gosh, this man is his father, who he stopped talking to for like a year and a half for doing pretty much the same thing, for yelling at a kid for being a kid. It's like, try to help him make the connection that like walking in those footsteps, whether you like it or not, and trust me, that happens to all of us. It's not, breaking generational curses is part of recognizing the habits that you are been bequeathed from your parents or ancestry or bloodline, and understanding that these are patterns, and that once we cut those patterns and maybe the negative results of some of those, then we can have the power to change them, just like any other habit we have, right? You have to identify the habit, you have to own up to it, you have to say, hey, I have this problem, I'm an addict, or this is my vice, or whatever it is. We all have vices, we all have our demons, we all have our shadow side. It's just knowing it, right? I used to make the joke, like, I'll have a little crazy inside, of course. I have to, right? That spark of madness, as Robin Williams would say. But the sane ones know which kind of crazy that they are, or which kind of crazy they have. It's the crazy ones that don't know that they're crazy, or don't admit it in any way. So watch out for that. But anyway, it's been less than 3 months since my breakup. I'm healing. I'm actually healing at a more rapid pace than I feel most people do. I think it's important to take time out for yourself, even if it becomes boring or lonely. But right now it's also learning new skills. I'm taking new classes. I started new courses, like a lot of things that are also, I'm pouring back into myself, and I'm like my own essence to things now. So I'm not looking or ready for a partner, a romantic partner. That is my end result. That is my end goal. I do want a partner. I appreciate life with a partner, but it has to be a leveled up partner, like an evolved partner, someone that knows, like, that's had some life experience, someone that kind of it, right? Keeps things in perspective, well adjusted, if you will. You know, kind of off their issues and what they're working on. Yeah, and then that it's hopefully have a sense of humor about it. I think that's really the way that we're all getting through this, because honestly, like, no one's getting out alive anyway. Might as well keep it funny. All right, well, yeah, feelings are feelings. They come and they go. They're good. They are not so good sometimes, but knowing how to transmute those, channel those energy, invest in yourself, in like dorkiest habit that somebody would be like, oh my God, like, wouldn't even want to tell other people that you're into. Most people won't care. Most authentic, cool people that don't really care what other people think won't really care if you're happy and proud and doing something you like. But that matter, don't mind, and those that whatever, you know how it goes. Dr. Seuss. Be who you are. I'll come back with that one. Anyway, that, you think some people say about like life is coming back to what would you like to do as a child. Like, I was a kid, I was into like this kind of weird stuff. Like, I was always had a fascination with the occult. I had fascination with human behavior. I had fascination with cults and religions and just ways of study. And so I'm fascinated by influence and trends, and I could go in so many different ways. Anyway, so just I've been kind of into that and learning more about certain spiritualities and just way people operate, and I don't know, it's cool. Anyway, it's okay to feel sad and lonely, but you can feel it doesn't last forever.